below that threshold.
Jeez, man, Storm Surge really does just force people into some pretty tricky situations. But again, man, it just goes to show a lot of aggressiveness is going to pay off for teams, man. You don't want to be put in that situation where, you know, you have to desperate and push. Maybe a duo that's better than you in combat. You know what I mean? And Airwax and Nikov just...
That's a replay.
Was that a replay? They just went down.
Airwax and Nikov are winners. Well, Airwax at least are back-to-back winner of the Pro-Am. Does go down. Airwax double qualified as well. Tough first game for them, as they do go out quite early on. 71 players left in this game, 38 duos. Again, it's a slow crawl as everyone begins to drop. Have you ever seen anything like this in competitive Fortnite?
No, I think that the only time that we saw numbers like this were when the circles they didn't really chunk that much and they were more centralized in the beginning of competitive. So really no one had to rotate that much and no one had to fight. So now that these circles are really just kind of moving around the map, you can't really predict them. I mean, you're getting these players who have, again, the great aim and they're just beaming people who are focusing on trying to rotate into the circle. Now look, there's so many people coming from the south right now. And it's just free kills if you guys are in a top position with solid aim, man. You're going to Texture right now, already getting beamed. He's spamming the spacebar, trying to make it as difficult as possible to hit. He sees a lot of, look at already trying to figure out right now, where's he going to land? Look at all these people who are already boxed up. They're already creating these tunnels. More shots coming down. And he's going to be able to make it. 8 grenades. So that's going to be, I mean, if he can get in a position where some players are already getting focused on the outside, 8 grenades, he might be able to clean up those kills too.
Yep, that's right there. They do box up in time. Did take some shield damage, but thankfully they have some minis to replenish that in just a few brief moments, as there's Eclipse now using them. He's got his teammate right next door as well. Medkit, so they're gonna pop that too. Every little bit of HP matters. Saving the campfire for the late game, it appears.
Definitely gotta save the campfire.
In the elimination feed right there. Here's a look at Mongrel earlier with his duo, Mitro. They're set up currently in this zone. 68 players left.
Love watching this guy play, man. I'm serious. I mean, here's, you just check his inventory. Only got 2 guns right now, which is infantry rifle and a combat shotgun, so he has no spray guns. All right, spray guns are, you know, anything to an SMG, tactical assault rifle, SCAR, anything like that. You know, you've got to have a gun that can shoot pretty quickly to kill players and hit players through their 1-bys. You know, very difficult. Look at that healing too, though. Yeah. 5 slurps, 2 slurps, 5 chug splashes.
And they already have a slurp ticking. This is insane.
And they're super close to the zone as well. They don't have to move too far.
Yep, and material-wise, look at that, 135 total builds. They're in a fantastic position to make some noise in game number 1. We'll definitely keep up to date with them. The slipstream slowly inching towards where it begins to shut down Ninja, but with so many slipstreams still available in this current zone, a lot of players are going to use that to rotate on in freely without using launch pads or the shadow bombs. There's your whole map right there, the eastern side of the zone. None of these players really going to be into play. They're going to have to inch a little bit more towards Loot Lake if they want to be safe.
Some of the best, I mean, look, these are the best players in the world, and look how close they are to one another, man. I'm so excited when they actually have to force into these fights. The Storm's going to start pushing them. Look how, I'm sorry, man, I just can't, man. You guys notice also, Stinks, man, these players are so talented. It's going to be so hard to spray through their walls and actually deal damage to them. Yep. So you need things like grenades, like Stinks, right? Little fart bombs is what I like to call them, to force people out of their 1-by-1s and try to shoot them as they're rotating away and trying to build new 1-by-1s to dodge the Stinks.
You see the Stinks right now going down on Mongrel, and Mongrel gets immediately ripped in 2 as it seemed like the lobby began to focus him right there. His duo still alive
with good rotation, luckily.
Definitely has a bunch to, you know, to be able to play with. The next Storm Surge has begun to kick on in. Mitro, 12 damage below, will have to begin to put shots down range. The zone pushing as well. So in this position, with the zone at their back, Mitro's goal, spray at players who have to push from the zone. They have one way they can go. They can't afford to take storm damage. They've got to push right at him, and Mitro knows that. Now begins the fire. Dubs just below as well. One of the players who qualified multiple times through solos and then once in duos.
They also have some great rotation. 2 ballers still intact. And here's the thing that you just mentioned, all these players who are going to be rotating in, being forced to rotate in, everyone knows that.
Very little ammo, though. Look, these are the last 9 assault rifle shots in Dubs' inventory. It is getting scrappy, folks. And there's the split. Still, though, only 80, meaning combined between the 2, they really only have about 150 shots to work with. The zone still pushing. 61 players left. Reminder, folks, this is game number 1 of 6 today in the duos competition. Dubs does go down as a player got that back wall and he wasn't quite ready for it. Mega frantically backing on up, trying to create some space. Will he be able to
He's going to be able to pop that slurp. He's got
the Storm Surge on.
He's trying to be aggressive. Oh, he's still below, right? He's going to need to be aggressive. He won't even have time to revive his teammate. His teammate got finished, actually, so he's got all the shields in the world. He can get back up to full health. Storm Surge is still ripping him apart. That slurp is barely keeping him alive.
Hitting him for 25 damage every time it winds up ticking. There it is again, dropping on in. Mega's hand is forced. Some big damage right there, still below. As players are continuing to drop all around, but Mega doing a solid job of keeping himself alive right now through the Storm Surge. Fantastic composure. Again, one of the young players on this stage looking to try to secure the title of Fortnite World Champion. No more dubs. The duo
still
down.
So now finally above. Finally above. And guess what? The most important thing to realize, guys, look at that rotation. Yes, he's alone. Yes, his teammate's down. But he has an incredible kit to not only make it to late game, but maybe even clutch this win out. He dropped the shotgun. Okay, there you go. Got the combat shotgun, one of the greatest shotguns to have late game. Does incredible damage, long range and close range. And all the guys, the circle just rotated now into the storm. Massive amounts of distance needs to be covered.
This Storm Surge is insane. It's still going on.
Finally taken out. 52 players left. And this is where things are about to get serious, guys.
Thomas drops some ammo right there for his teammate, Inclusia. And you see Thomas, that epic infantry rifle, one of your favorite weapons, Ninja. What is so good about that assault rifle?
It 100% rewards pinpoint accurate players, right? There's no bloom necessary. Your marker, your aim is right on their head. Boom. You're going to get that headshot. You're going to get 80 points of damage. And there's now the upgraded versions, the Legendary and the Epic, have 10 shots instead of 8. So, I mean, it just packs a punch, man. It can really catch players off guard. And that's exactly what you're going to need when you're playing against these top players who will literally build and protect themselves when they get shot once.
Folks, there are 45 players left in this very, very small zone. We are now on our 6th storm. You see it's about to begin to move, and players will frantically have to go across the map. Zayt and SAF right now discussing exactly what they should drop, pulling up their map, looking exactly where they have to go. 44 left in this one.
We already got people using shockwave grenades, guys. This is a very far rotation for the second movement circle, so this is actually going to move very quickly. These people are going to potentially get stuck on their launch pads because there's so much frequent building. It's going to be nuts. And who's going to try to take the high ground? Because after this first circle goes, this is where people start to only try to use the high ground.
And we know high ground is everything in competitive Fortnite late game. Everyone frantically moving away from the common enemy of everyone, which is that storm circle. Macwood taking zone damage. Daedra as well. King slowly bouncing on through with the Shadow Bomb. And does land. Yes, but taking no storm damage, just playing right on the edge of it. Yeah, right on the edge of the zone right now. Will just stay boxed up for a brief moment. As now there's 36 players remaining, stomping the elimination feed. Arkram now goes down as well. You can see the elimination feed on the top left to keep track of your favorite players. There's so much is going on. This is what tunneling is. When you hear players mention tunneling, this is it right here. You move with the zone, you tunnel your way in, give yourself cover, but not a lot of materials left. Only 22 builds, and this zone is stacked. But look who's on the high ground. It's Mr. Savage and Benji Fishing.
That would be your 2 picks, so good for you. All right, I have to owe you a bet there, man. That, all right. Bongo, unfortunately, do we still have Nitro's still alive? I mean, listen, people are dying left and right, being eliminated. More Savage just used another shockwave grenade. He already had high ground, though. The question is, are people going to try to take it? You know that if you really want the chance to win this, you're going to have to try to take the high ground off him or have a rocket launcher to just take him out of it.
He's just so weakened. Mr. Savage just looks up and beams the player out of the air. It's all Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage in the elimination feed right now. 24 players left in this one. But 20 duos. There's almost no duos remaining, Ninja.
Right, this is all solos, and this is kind of what's going to happen, man.
Mr. Savage goes down.
It's up to Benji, and listen, Benji's been in this position before. We know he can handle it. Nitro's still in the game as well. I just saw him. He looks incredibly healthy, but now taking some storm damage. Benji's just going to try it. Look at the materials. Not a lot left. They're only using their shadows. I think he has 1 build left.
Yep.
That's it. That's all he has.
He's got 10 total builds.
10 total builds.
He's just trying to outlast as many players as possible. Remember these placement points. We've made it into our top 10 duos. Now into our top 8. Zayt and SAF now. Zayt and SAF now on the high ground.
This game.
One of the few, the only duo left. This has a Zayt and SAF win written all over it. Mitro, Mongrel's duo. was all by himself from very
Mega.
early on. Still alive in this one. 40R Storm now getting beamed. Can the North American duo of ZAYT and SAF close this out? Raining down fire from up top. You see the frantic builds coming in. Benji Fishy goes down. Mega, Mitro, and Scarlet on the low ground. Shots still coming on in. ZAYT and SAF just sitting pretty.
God, Mitro just got a double, I think.
Mitro
5 limbs.
tries to get it done. Not enough. ZAYT and SAF, 2 versus 1. Will they take game number 1?
They
Yes,
do.
they will.
ZAYT and SAF had the high ground and they used it the entire game. Rain fire from above. We're able to make up 5 limbs plus 10 placement points. That's going to be 15 points game 1.
Talk about a monster game number 1. You saw the immediate reaction. They know how key that was. And I've watched so many games of competitive Fortnite, Ninja. They were the only duo left with still like 18 players remaining.
Yeah.
When they get the high ground like that, they send 1 player down to get close. Scarlet was already weak, and there's just no shot. In the end, the veteran players of ZAYT and SAF take game number 1.